Hello YouTube and welcome back to Outsiders. First of all, don't mind the pillow behind me. I'm needing that because I've actually hurt my back slightly playing football, well, soccer as you Americans call it. And would you believe, as well, just to add this, I actually played a little bit of American football back in the day in the 80s. There's another story for another time. Anyway, before I get too further into this, I'm going to be covering off Pathfinder 5th level spells. A few of you have mentioned a point which is quite right. The video quality in terms of the sound is often quite poor on mine, and I have to apologise, but I don't have the money to spend on better equipment. I'm doing this actually on an Apple iPhone, if I'm being honest, and I've got no inclination to spend any money at all improving the technology at this stage. I mean, I do this for free, so without sounding awful, and I hope it doesn't turn too many of you off. Apologies if it's not to the standard that would be fair, but it's a free service. Mind you, if you want to start a fund where you want to, send some donations in so I can buy some proper updated equipment, hey, I'm all for that. Anyway, without further ado, let's talk about 5th level spells today. So, we've already gone into the series. I hope that it's thrown up a few surprises for you about some of the picks, and I'm hoping today we'll do the same again. Remember, my criteria is pretty simple. I'm trying to pick 3 spells out per level, which are generally universal, that are going to be winners for any type of spellcaster in regards to being a sorcerer or a magician. They are very going to be very sound choices. That's the sort of criteria I've gone on where it's very difficult for the opposition to do much about it. So without further ado, let's get started. The first choice that I'm going to make is an absolute, again, no-brainer. In the same way that Dim Door has uses, teleport for 5th level has to be an absolute given, I think, for any type of spellcaster that has the capability to do it. First thing is, it is verbal, but it doesn't have any somatic gestures or material components, and that is quite important actually, particularly as you begin to understand the game more. It's you untouched willing creature, and you've got to remember, by the time you can cast 5th level spells, you're going to be 9th level. Now, you're going to be able to take you and 3 other people with you. It's 1 for every 3 levels. As soon as you're able to cast this spell, obviously it gets more as you reach 12th level, etc. again. So, and there is a chance of error here, but again, it's all about how you view the error, etc. But if you can get out of trouble, I'd take a teleport error any day of the week, to be perfectly honest with you. So there's no saving throw or will if somebody... You can target someone who doesn't want to willingly come with you. That is also something that a couple of very ingenious spellcasters in my group have actually done in the past, because people often forget that. You can use teleport to take someone with you who doesn't want to come, and that can be pretty useful when you're 1,000 feet up in the air or a couple of miles up and they failed their save and the wizard's got to get out and they don't. Never underlook that option for an attacking spell on teleport. Anyway, that's why teleport's in there, universally very useful. The next one in this level I'm choosing, I'm a big fan of wall spells, but particularly this one. This one, without a shadow of a doubt, is my favourite wall spell of all of them. This is the Wall of Force. It's verbal somatic material, close range spell, so it's 25 feet plus 5 feet per level. Wall whose area is up to 1 10-foot square per level. So remember again, you're going to need to be 9th level to be cast. That's 90 10-foot squares. That's a pretty big wall. There's no saving throw and no spell resistance, and the beauty of a Wall of Force is it's immune to dispel magic. Immune to dispel magic, that's a key thing. It can be gotten rid of with a disjunction spell, and it can be destroyed automatically with a disintegrate, but that's not always that simple to be used against it. And don't forget, you can lay up more than one wall and then another wall. There's a lot of combinations you can do. It's got a hardness of 30 and a number of hit points equal to 20 per caster level. Some meaty stuff. So Wall of Forces, huge, and obviously again, depending on the height of the wall and the enemy, it's a great way of dividing up the battlefield. I really don't think it can be argued about how useful that spell can be and how you can utilise it in your game. But my final spell that I'm going to talk about today is one that I'm hoping, beyond all hope, that this one will cause a few people to have a really rethink about this spell. I'm choosing it because this is a DM's friend spell, actually. This is one of those spells where I often hear, and it came out in a couple of questions that I was asked, about people are getting fed up with the way that their players get round their scenarios very easily with various clairvoyant spells and prying eyes and all sorts of stuff. And as I always say with these things, the beautiful thing about the mechanics of most well-designed games is, particularly in spells, there's always a countermeasure. And this is the beautiful one. It's called Mage's Private Sanctum. It obviously came under a different name in 3.5. Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum, same difference. But bottom line, it's a beautiful spell. It's a 30-foot cube per level. Duration, it lasts 24 hours. It takes 10 minutes to cast. There's no saving throw, and spell resistance applies. The beautiful thing about a Sanctum spell is if an enemy has it, which I often use this, it's very easy to overlay them. Basically, it ensures privacy. Anyone looking into the air from outside only sees dark, foggy mass. Dark vision cannot penetrate it. No sounds, no matter how loud, can escape the area, so nobody can eavesdrop from outside. Those inside can see out normally. Divination spells cannot perceive anything within the area, and those within are immune to detect thoughts. The ward prevents speech between those inside and those outside, but it doesn't prevent other communications such as sending or message spells. Telepathic communication such as that between a wizard and a familiar. The spell does not prevent creatures or objects from moving into the area or out of the area, but what the point of this is, it protects against divination spells cannot perceive anything within it. So if you've got an area, it's a big cube, 30-foot cube, you put an area under a mage's private sanctum, and people have got to go in the old-fashioned way. That's fantastic. That is an absolutely awesome spell. I mean, I think that's got uses in any situation. That could even be used as a cover spell. But the one drawback is, this is really a DM spell as opposed to a player spell, because the casting time is 10 minutes. But I would say this, I think it's one of those spells as a DM, consider using in certain high-level games, because it makes the players go back to basics, reutilise their skills, because that's one of the often criticisms of any game to do with third-era products, is that skills become redundant the higher up you go in the levels, and I guess that's true, but this can bring us back to basics. Anyway, this has been Spells 5th level with my Bible, the Pathfinder core book. Anyway, until next time, take care of yourselves, happy gaming, and see you on the next programme of Outsiders. Bye bye for now.